There have been major changes in the residential real estate market. I want to present you with the five takeaways. My name is Nico James-Bock. I am a broker at LePage Signature Realty in downtown Toronto. These are the major shifts that took place during the month of September. Welcome to another episode of Building Wealth Through Real Estate Brick by Brick. If you've been paying attention to the media the past 2 weeks and or tuned in to my latest podcast, your feeds are probably blowing up with all of the exciting mortgage changes coming this December. The federal government recently announced they are introducing new options for insured mortgages that extend amortization periods to 30 years and reduce the down payment required for homes priced between 1 million and 1.5 million. So what does this mean? It means the dream of home ownership is becoming more accessible for more people. This new mortgage rule has increased both your buying power and your ability to pre-qualify. So September 2024 market stats were just released by the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, and yours truly has curated the stats for you for the various macro markets and the submarkets. Home sales in the GTA have increased, shockingly, by 8.5% this September, compared to last year, indicating that market conditions are becoming slightly more favorable for buyers. Most pockets, however, are still in balanced market territory. Prices are adjusting and interest rates are more accommodating than they've been in a while. The number of new listings has also risen by over 10% from last year, too, providing a greater selection and better opportunities to negotiate. So if you're thinking about entering the market or finding a new place, now could be an ideal time for you. Jumping right to the September 2024 market stats, I'll look first at the GTA, the macro market. The number of available homes for all sales of all types increased by over 35% to 25,612 in the GTA, continuing the buyer's market trend of over 5 months of available inventory on a macro market level. The average selling price is 1,107,291. It was down by only 1% compared to September 2023. That average of 1,118,215. On a seasonally adjusted basis, the average selling price edged up slightly compared to August. I want to go straight to Durham region. Durham region market stats. This is the only region that is showing a sub $1 million average price. Durham region is showing $927,723 as the average price. It's down slightly over year to date, but they're showing also 3.56 months of inventory. So just a little bit over 3.5 months of inventory, which is actually the lowest of all the sub markets. So we're seeing tighter conditions, lower inventory levels in Durham region. This means that there could be opportunities for those looking in the Durham region. So we're talking about Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Uh, this could be an area of great interest. I've talked about the Durham region and the opportunities that exist in that region for the past 6 months. Durham region has consistently shown average selling price at below 1 million. This is not going to last for much longer. I suspect that Durham region will breach the $1 million mark by, if not the end of this year, by the first quarter of 2025. If we go to the Toronto market, which is another macro market, it is showing an average sale price of 1,107,439. Now, this is up 0.6%, so a slight increase year to date. Toronto, however, is showing a little bit over 5.5 months of inventory. So 5.54, that's quite high. We've been talking quite a long time about the amount of particularly condominiums that are sitting on the market. So that is contributing to the months of inventory number that we're seeing for Toronto. Condo sales are up slightly, 1.6%. To 864 sales or transactions, with an average price down slightly at 707,917, a reflection of the high inventory and sluggish market conditions in this sector. If we go quickly back to the GTA market stats, which includes all of the sub-markets, average price for a condominium is 682,543. So Toronto is slowing slightly higher than that. Passing to York region has a slightly higher average sale price at 1,315,352. This is down slightly, 2.7% year to date, but still over $1.3 million. York region consistently shows average selling price over $1.3 million. That has been consistent over the last 6 months. 5.64 months of inventory, so creeping upwards in the months of inventory as we pass to York region. So condo sales up an impressive 14.7%, only 187 transactions, with an average price down slightly at 673,143. This is, again, another reflection of the high inventory and sluggish market conditions in the condo sector. Passing to Oakville. Oakville has the highest average selling price at 1,525,370. It's considered one of the most expensive regions when taken, considering all housing types. The sale price is down a mere 1.4% year to date. So not down too much, that average sale price. 5.82 months of inventory, so almost 6 months of inventory in the Oakville market. So we're seeing throughout all the regions, with the exception of Durham, that we're hovering just under 6 months of inventory in all regions, and that is quite high. It's tending towards a buyer's market when we see numbers like that. But still, the numbers can be a little bit deceiving, because in a lot of the pockets, macro and micro, we're really more in a balanced market condition, with conditions neither favoring the buyer or the seller, or evenly balanced conditions favoring both sides. Condo sales are up in Oakville, an impressive 18.5%, but translating to only 32 transactions, with an average price down slightly at 684,072. So we're just in the condo market, we're roughly around 700,000, let's say, as an average price, and that is expected to edge upwards as the available inventory gets eaten up by all the newcomers that are coming into the Canada, but more specifically into the GTHA. Newcomers tend to go first into the rental market, and then transition to most likely a condo, because that is that tends to be the price point at which they feel more comfortable. Um, Very few people are able to pay over $1 million for their first home. So, all regions and submarkets are available on my social channels. So you can look at the other regions that I did not get to during this podcast. So Mississauga, Brampton, but they're all there. I want to point out that baby boomers are the biggest cohort that are holding on to their real estate. So that's part of a large part of the reason why we aren't seeing a lot of listings. The majority of homeowners are baby boomers. That's basically what it comes down to when you look at the region on a regional level, and they're holding on to their real estate, rightly so. As we see more newcomers coming into the GTA, there's going to be a lot of pressure on available housing. So we're still in a housing crisis, even though there's a large amount of predominantly condominium inventory sitting. And that's mostly because a lot of buyers are still on the sidelines waiting for more interest rate reductions, which will come. But the amount of people that are pouring into the GTA and the rapidity with which they are pouring into the city, that inventory that is sitting will get eaten up quite quickly, and that will put upward pressure on prices. So in the last 3 months, we've seen more or less price stagnation. That is going to change quite quickly as we move out of the winter months and start into spring of 2025. So the first quarter of 2025, we're going to see another shift particularly in prices. There are price growth and market activity on a national average home price is forecast to rise by 9%. Okay, year over year in the fourth quarter of 2024. So those results will be more easily available or visible, let's say, in the first quarter of 2025, with strong price appreciation expected in regions like Greater Toronto, where prices could increase by 10%. Supply and construction challenges. So despite these positive price trends, housing supply remains a major concern. The federal government's recent measures to boost construction and address supply shortages will take time to materialize, a lot of time. And labor shortages in the construction industry continue to constrain new home development. Interest rate uncertainty is another factor. While many hoped for rate cuts, expectations have shifted, and higher borrowing costs are still keeping some buyers on the sidelines. However, a return to more balanced conditions is anticipated as rates eventually ease. Speaking of rates, the next BOC interest rate announcement, Wednesday, October 23rd, in a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks, actually, and Wednesday, December the 11th. Wednesday, December the 11th will be the final interest rate announcement of 2024. We're expecting those in the know, more specifically Sherry Cooper of the Dominion Lending Centers, as well as Sean Hildebrand from Urbanation. The economists are expecting there to be more significant rate reduction at the next two announcements. So in the previous three announcements, we've seen 25 basis points. In the next two, we're anticipating 50 basis points at each announcement. So if that comes to pass, we will probably see an interest rate, an overnight lending rate at 3.5% by the end of 2024. So at the December 11th interest rate announcement. Sunday, December 15th, the new mortgage rules kick in. So there you have it. I hope this information has been helpful. and useful, and that you can make better buying decisions knowing that the changes that have taken place will be felt more significantly in the next few weeks. That's it for this episode, and I will be in touch shortly with a new announcement. Ciao, ciao.